We haven't had generations have to experience this since the Spanish flu. So it's been, a multitude of generations that haven't had to face a decision of that significance. And so the best way I can describe it is it almost felt like an out-of-body experience. Like, I cannot believe we're actually meaningfully deciding if we're going to keep our school doors open or not.
When COVID hit, our biggest concern was safety, and there were a lot of unknowns. We were also getting information, a mile a minute and from all different directions. We really had to sit down with our central office staff and our nurses and sift through what was important to make sure that we had in place for our staff members.
Wow, we had a lot of changes that went down this year because of COVID. One of the big things was only being able to see 1 or 2 students at a time in the clinic when we're used to having 5 or 6 at a time.
We also had to worry about where are the staff going to eat lunch, and are we going to have enough room for them to take their mask off, to eat in a communal place, but to have enough distance. So for the first half of the year, we were actually able to use our big gym, and we set up about 16 tables all around the big gym, which provided lots of space for teachers to spread out, take their mask off, to enjoy their lunch break, and not to transmit virus or to get each other sick.
School closed down. We had to start wrapping everything up, and by everything from fruit and vegetables and meat and what have you, and bag them up, because all of a sudden every students were at home. However, they still were eligible to receive a meal every day.
Behind the scenes, the tech department was working really hard on making sure that all of our students had devices. So they were collecting devices from all the elementary schools to make sure that they could get those to the elementary students so that they could be virtual hotspots, all of that hardware piece to be able to keep everybody connected and learning.
As we were pivoting, there was a time when our secondary schools, I would say, shared their staff with us because they went virtual. And I know that was a huge pivot on their part as well. Maybe not have ever been in an elementary school before, just the unknown. What am I walking into? But I will say that the staff that joined us during that time came to us and said how much they appreciated being here, how much they were welcomed and felt like they were a part of our family. Some even shared and stated, you know what, I'm thinking about elementary, like I might give that a go.
We end up supporting our community by continue to prep those bags until the end of June free of charge. So we were giving out the same amount 5 days for every family, regardless of their status, and we would just give out food for free.
Right off the bat, we knew that we couldn't have our halls full of kids and kids transitioning all over the place. So we did decide to have our special area classes like music, computer, art, and PE actually in the classrooms rather than the kids traveling through the hallways.
There's so many spheres of influence that impact what you're doing. You have to be able to respond, and quite honestly respond pretty quickly and very strategically.
I like in person better because I can focus a lot better in person, just because environments and stuff, and I feel like I can get more work done.
Between hybrid, virtual, and in person, I would have to go with hybrid because I felt comfortable. I was able to do all of my work, and I was still able to have a little bit more fun and be a little bit more free during the day.
I think right now our students are getting the same education even if COVID had never happened. And I think that the reason for that is because the teachers really had to prioritize our learning standards once they realized that our year was cut short.
So we had people spread out the best we could to start the school year. It meant that we were going to see students less than we normally would, though, and that, of course, is not an ideal situation, but it was the safest situation, we believed, at the time.
It was hard and scary and nerve-wracking all at the same time. We were fortunate, and I'm speaking for South Middle School, but what I see across our district, I think this is true across our district, we just have good people. So it wasn't just me figuring it out. It was a team of people, our teachers, our counselors, our administrators working together.
The teachers really made being quarantined, doing school year quarantine, easier. They make sure that they put most of their stuff on campus or classroom now. So if kids are quarantined, it's easier to get their work done. So there's not as much paper copies for work.
Teachers have really been adamant about us separating ourselves from everybody else, so that's helped us not get quarantined.
Mandates were important to we initially came back to school. Everybody was required to wear a mask throughout the course of the school day, and we socially distanced students and desks in all of the classrooms to keep them safe.
My whole track season got canceled. That was kind of sad. And then we were just like stuck at home, and then virtual happened, and my grades went down.
It was kind of devastating that we weren't going to be coming back from spring break, but even though the transition between virtual and hybrid and back to in-person school has been hard, the teachers and coaches have all done amazing jobs.
Vision and points of difference when it comes to what we should be doing with any mitigative strategy, masks, social distancing, hand washing. I understand that. By and large, we have worked to be in a place where we can disagree, but we are not disagreeable. But we don't lose sight of what the most important thing is, and or most important things happen to be the safety of students and our staff, but that we're focused on what you all need in terms of students as it relates to your academic needs, but also social and emotional needs as well. As I said earlier, this has been rough and tough on everyone. And I think we're still at our best when we do it together, when we focused on our primary goals and our specific priorities as a community, and we just wrap around those particular priorities. And so I think making sure that kids, students, young adults are able to learn and keep growing, that's what we're going to do as a school district. And I think and know that we do it best when we have the support of not only our parents, but our community as a whole.
I just wanted to say that one of the things we talk about often is the unintended benefit of being thrusted into a pandemic and virtual teaching. We are so proud of our teachers and our students because we have teachers who have gone above and beyond and have been pushed into trying new things and seeing what teaching and learning virtually can look like.
How effective it was for the family to have that, okay, well, we can just go by and pick some food for our family. And it helped a lot because a lot of people lost their job and their income, and it was a struggle, still is a struggle. So we continue to do that through the summer, and I think a lot of family benefited from it.
I think for me, and what I've seen from some of the students, is it forces us to listen more, because you have to listen more intently. You can't read faces to go along with what they're saying. So it has quieted us down, and we're listening more.
I look back at the way things started and the way they went, and I'm excited that our students have had the opportunity to get to participate and get to play. On the other hand, I also understand, as a former athlete and a former coach, it was less than an ideal situation. But given everything, when I look back, I'm just excited that we were able to participate in almost everything this year, with a few bumps in the road.
So we worked through all those things, and now we're in a much better place. We're fully in person now, and the quarantining is still happening, but it's much more minimal than it was at the very beginning. So we're not sending out as many students on quarantine, and the quarantines are even shorter now. Vaccinations are happening with adults. Now students are 16 over are eligible to get vaccinated. So we're certainly moving into a much better place.
We've just seen the possibility too of the benefits of teaching virtually and some of the good things that have come about, letting students learn in different environments, and maybe everything being so traditional, there are benefits to some of those virtual aspects.
I'm very appreciative of how the district handled all of the safety protocols and dealing with everything and the problems that came with COVID.
I think in the end, I think we've done a very nice job in trying to keep staff and students safe. It's about attention to detail and also being really reflective as we go. How is that working? Can we fine tune it? Can we tweak it? Can we get more efficiency? And at the same time, in the end, We're here for teaching and learning. We want to keep kids safe, but we're here for teaching and learning. And then we also want to make sure the experience is fun.
Would not have wanted to do this or go through this with any other staff members around.
When we began with the hybrid model, we really looked at our units of study and worked together to make sure that we had 3 to 5 priority standards for each one so that we could make sure that we were hitting the most important ones to prepare them for the next unit and prepare them for, honestly, the next school year.
As we move forward and hopefully move out of the pandemic in the next few months, that we just make sure that we take the precautions we need to take so that we don't find ourselves relapsing and having to miss games or things of that nature.
And it's been so cool to see our teachers try new things and see the benefit and what they're going to take back from that when we are mostly face-to-face. You know, they're still going to hold on to some of those really great things about blended learning and creating content and having that digital presence with their teaching.
I think teachers, students, families, and the community had a lot of resiliency and got through this together, and we're heading in a very positive direction, and it's exciting to see the educational landscape evolve, and I'm excited about the future of what's to come in the Wentzville School District.
What our students have done across the district has been amazing. The challenges brought your guys' way every day is something we never face as students. And I just see our students responding, and they're doing an awesome job. So I would like to say that to all of our students.
Learning never stopped in all this.
No matter what, they're still learning and growing.
School should be a fun place, so we're trying to balance all of those needs. And I think we've done a nice job. We've worked really hard to keep the kids safe, to help them learn and grow, and we're still trying to have fun and have a good time.
I think one thing that I'd like to add is that everyone tries to be happy and positive and just keep good motivation. Look forward to something every single day to keep you going.
I am firmly confident that we are going to be stronger on the backside of this pandemic than we were going into it. But to be very frank, we always have done that as a nation.
Once we get past something or we get to a new pivot, I'm always amazed that, we made it through that. Like, it might have seemed insurmountable or impossible in that moment, but we did it. And I know that that's because of the teamwork and just how well we all work together.
We knew we had a shortened amount of time, so we really had to be proactive and plan our lessons together as a team to make sure we were hitting as many standards as we could and the most important ones. There's a lot of need to knows and there's a lot of nice to knows in our curriculum, and this is one of those years where we really had to make sure that we were hitting the need to knows and then hopefully, if we had time, hitting those nice to knows as well.
So one thing that I just wanted to say is that whoever is virtual or in person, even though this is a hard year, it's all going to get better no matter what happens, and just keep getting through it and keep pushing yourself to do better.
We have seen dark days, but we always work our way through to see a brighter future and a brighter tomorrow. We're going to do that. This is a tough situation that we're working our way through, but I have no doubt we're tougher, much tougher than this.